Gentlemen, welcome to Lionwave Sports. I go by the name Eto Kujo. Today we are going to conclude the seasons in the English Premier League, Spanish La Liga. As the seasons have come to a various or successful end, I'm going to break it down on the teams that have qualified for Europe and those who have been relegated. So to start with, the English Premier League, the most watched league in the history of the world. Now, number one on the table is Arsenal, followed by Manchester City, Manchester United, Liverpool, and then Aston Villa have all qualified for the Champions League next season. And then to continue with, Europa League spot has been occupied by Bournemouth and then Sunderland. Now, to continue with, the Conference League will be played by Brighton and Hove Albion. And then the relegated teams in the English Premier League are West Ham United, Wolves, and then Burnley. They have been relegated. So that's it for the English Premier League. To move on, we go to the Spanish La Liga. FC Barcelona won the La Liga with a maximum number of points, going unbeaten at home. And so far, the Champions League spot has been occupied by Barcelona, Real Madrid, Villarreal, and then Real Betis and Atletico de Madrid. These are the teams that will play in the Champions League from Spain next season. The Europa League spot has been occupied by Celta Vigo, and then Conference League will be Getafe. Yes, you heard me right. Getafe will play in Europe next season. And then relegated teams, Real Oviedo, Mallorca, and then Girona have all been relegated from the Spanish Premier La Liga. So we won't see them feature in La Liga next season. To continue with, we go straight into the Bundesliga. Bundesliga Champions League teams, FC Bayern Munich, Borussia Dortmund, RB Leipzig, and then Stuttgart. Now, the Europa League spot has been occupied by Hoffenheim and then Bayern 04 Leverkusen. To continue with, Freiburg will play in the Conference League. The relegated teams in the German Bundesliga are St. Pauli, Heidenheim, and then Wolfsburg. These are the three relegated teams from the German Bundesliga. To continue with, we go to the French League 1. People call it the Farmers League, but I don't believe in that, because Paris Saint-Germain have dominated in Europe for the past 1 year. And to continue with, the top 4 teams that will play the Champions League from France, Paris Saint-Germain, Lens, Lille, and then FC, another Olympic Lyon. As we continue, Europa League team will be FC or Olympique de Marseille. And then Conference League will be played by Rennes. Now, the relegated teams in France, they are 3. Currently speaking, Metz are relegated, Nantes are relegated, and OJ Nice are also relegated. Remember, OJ Nice have the same owners as the Manchester United owners. So, to continue with, I think that's all for the league. And then next season, the big news is that FC Chelsea will not play in Europe since they failed to qualify for Europe. So next season, no Europa League, no Conference League for Chelsea the Blues. Xabi Alonso has a lot of work to be done. So we dive deep straight into some records and statistics at the end of the season. Bruno Fernandes have beaten the record of Kevin De Bruyne and then Thierry Henry for the most assists in a single season in the English Premier League. Currently on 21, Bruno Fernandes has the record now. And then we go to see Bayern Munich in Bundesliga scored a total of 122 goals at the end of the season, and it has become a record. That record was held by Bayern Munich themselves in 1971-72 season, and currently speaking, they have set a new record, 121 goals. That's impressive. And FC Barcelona went the season unbeaten at home, no loss, no draw. They won all their home games. It's also a record that you need to know. Now to the World Cup issues, the biggest tournament in the history of the world is about 20 days or less than 20 days away from now. It's going to be fun. Don't forget that we have a new format for the World Cup. Currently, before it was 32 teams, now we go to 48 countries that are going to feature. And the group stages, the groups are usually divided into 8. But with the current format, we are going to have 12 groups, 12 groups. And this is going to be the only World Cup that will feature halftime interviews for footballers or for players. So if you're a broadcaster and you want to interview a player, you have the right to do it at halftime. This and many others will bring to you. Thank you for watching the show. Next time we're going to dive deep into the World Cup, the history, the statistics, and everything you need to know about the World Cup. Thanks for watching. See you next time.